Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today we are going to be doing a short little love reading. Just a little love energy check-in in your life, see what may need your attention or what you need to know. So yeah, let's get started. First we have, so these are all going to be done with the same deck, which is the Blacklight Rider Waite deck. And your first option is this beautiful Smoky Quartz crystal for pile 1. And pile 2 is going to be this little Selenite Tower. She's very cute. And pile 3 is this Labradorite Tower. I hope I said that correctly. I heard it said incorrectly one time and that's what stuck. So pile 3, I also want to mention that I did write down a message that came through while I was meditating on the piles, and those are below. It's always fun to see if they end up tying into your reading, so we will do that at the end, and we will also be doing charms and some letters to see what comes through. So go ahead and pick a pile, and then I'll meet you at your reading. Hello, pile 1. If you picked this Smoky Quartz crystal, I love this little guy, then this is your reading. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys like it, make sure to give it a like so I know what kind of content you want to see. And if you want to see more, then go ahead and subscribe. Today we are going to be doing a little check-in on what's going on in love with you. What do you need to know? I do want to say that this doesn't necessarily mean romantic love. This is what Spirit wants you to know about love in general in your life. Maybe it's how you view it. Maybe it's, you know, we'll see what comes up. I know what came up for, obviously, I channeled these messages, so I'm so curious to see if they tie back. And as always, these are collective readings, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And yeah, if anything, I hope you find it entertaining, but I hope that you hear some messages that are going to be of help to you during this time. So we will save your message, this message, for the end. Let's get started. So angels, ancestors, spirits, and guides, please help me channel these messages for group 1 relating to love. What does group 1 need to know about love in their lives right now? Okay, so the moon flash, that has to do with maybe like seeing through illusions. Maybe some healing work has to be done. Things about our own selves, you know. Sometimes looking within, looking within our own shadows, right? I just named my new business Shadow Play, and the name of this channel is Shadow Play. And Shadow Play comes from a place of really just allowing ourselves to see, to just see within the shadows, meaning see within the dark parts of ourselves. Those things that are sometimes hard to face are also the things that hold you back if you don't face, but they're also the things that propel you forward once you do. Those things are in you for a reason. They're meant to be things that are uncomfortable, but that you can heal from. You can heal. So immediately we get the feeling that you have friends around. This is like good times, good times with people. You know, this could quite literally mean a get together of a few people over dinner and drinks or lunch, brunch, whatever it is, food and drink and good times, singing, dancing, music, all that stuff. It's a feel-good card, followed by a card of integrating what you've learned in the past, you know, and filling up your own cup here. This could also be a card of patience. So I know we all just endured a year of like lockdown, and maybe during that time you weren't able to see your friends, and that's just what's showing. Let's see what else comes up for you. So I feel like your pile 1, your reading might be more about friendship, but we'll see. So far, that's what's coming through. All right. Strength. A feeling of being burdened. Balance. Having enough. Maybe feeling defeated. Okay, so I feel like things might have been feeling rough for a while, and maybe you've found yourself, you know, in a place of like being alone or having to take care of a lot on your own. There's also decisions coming up for you. And a sense of like just done, just feeling done. There's communication coming through. Okay, so your reading started off with like a get together. Like this is friends and celebratory. Like maybe there's something to celebrate, but it does show gathering with like food and drinks. Like I said, good times. And we talked about this. This is about filling your own cup and keeping yourself regenerated. Perhaps like implementing lessons learned in the past to your situation now. It's also a card about patience. So the energy of patience is coming through. Also, Spirit wants you to remain strong and know that you do have the strength to face any of your fears that you currently have. I do see you feeling that you're in a place of like overburden, like maybe you've taken on too much, and which has led you to this place of like having to make decisions. So underneath the gathering of friends, we do see you going into like calmer waters. Like maybe recently you've had to do the work to get yourself to a calmer place. And maybe this was you like breaking away from routine by like hanging out with people, because you have gotten to yourself in a place where maybe you can go out again, or you can be, you know, take the time to be around people. So Spirit wants to point out that you need to balance yourself. So in any area of your life that you're feeling off kilter, you need balance. If you're working too hard, or if you're doing things that are leaving you feeling overburdened, you're being called to restore balance in those areas. And that's by implementing lessons learned from the past of things that you have already gone through. So the Queen of Pentacles is here. She is someone, she's a very divine feminine energy, even if you are not a female or identify as female. This is just the energy that comes through. And this is, we all have, regardless of our gender or our gender identity, we all have divine masculine and divine feminine energies. And at different points in our lives, we're leaning into different ones. And we always want to seek for balance. So when it is a divine feminine energy, it's very much about nurturing and creating, and she can take care of her home and herself and things of that nature, like the earth's like material things, material possessions. So she's very much okay on her own. And she has the strength to be in this place. But coming back to your feeling of taking on too much and of overburden, it has left you feeling defeated in some way. So I believe that because this was supposed to be a love reading and it's turned into kind of what's going on with you, I feel like you can't be open to love until you are more well balanced. It's in you and you deserve it. You just have to move out of these. You have to find balance, because any love that you find right now isn't going to find you at a good, for lack of better words, at a good place if you aren't balanced yourself. Basically, you're inviting in a vibration of where you're currently at. And if you are off balance, it may not allow you to manifest and call in the relationships that are going to be good for you in the long run. So like I said, there is an air of big decisions here, and I feel like like, even though this is a card about you having to make these decisions, your reading starting off with this get together, I feel like it's okay for you to relax. It's okay for you to have fun and maybe lean on the people, lean on the people that are your rocks, that are like your, you know, like maybe these are good friends or family, like whoever it is. Like I feel like this is gonna do you good. So with the Page of Swords is your bottom of the deck energy. Actually, I believe it was the top, but the Page of Swords is here announcing news. So this is perhaps you got communication of some sort. You saw something online that gave you clarity on a situation. There is a feeling of you finding something out, and I believe it's gonna help you make your decision, or maybe it already has. That is the energy that is coming up for you in tarot. So this is the first time that I am doing the charms. So let's get started with them. First, we're gonna do some charms, and these are actually all pins from my Hot Sunday line. So let's see, we're just gonna pick a couple. Oh, I dropped one. You know what? I should get that. All right. Okay, so you guys got the Beychella pin, which this is like a fun pin. It's about fun with friends. I mean, if we remember that year, B came out with her friends and it was like epic when Destiny's Child took over. So I'm gonna go ahead and put her here because I feel like you deserve to have fun and dance and just have a good time. Okay, so we have the Selena pin. So Selena was always very much about working hard for her dreams. So I feel like she was always such a good example of like strength while just like being a good person, you know? It's like Selena seems like she would have been a really good friend. So I'm going to leave her here as well because I feel like the message of friendship is coming through. You also got our Know Your Worth baby pin, and this is about loving yourself and about just like, I was going to say having self-worth, but it's not that you're lacking it. It's that you maybe need to remind yourself of what you're worthy of, and you are worthy of not living in this overburden. You are worthy of balancing your life out and having fun. Yes, work is work and it's important, or other life things, family, but if you don't find balance for yourself, then the rest of the stuff isn't gonna really do any good, you know. We're talking long term here. So you got our La Mami pin, and I love this because it ties into Know Your Worth. This doesn't necessarily have to be about you being a mother, which yes, you could be, especially with the Queen of Pentacles. So it reminds us about self-care, but I also want to point out that this pin is nurturing ourselves, babying ourselves when we need it. We're so good at taking care of other people sometimes that we don't treat ourselves the same way. So that's just a reminder to nurture yourself. We also have our discernment pin, which is realize, realize, realize. It is a Tupac quote that I absolutely love. And this is just about discerning. Like sometimes your ears hear one thing, your eyes see another, but your heart feels another. And it's just about knowing the difference about what is real and what is not. Who is real, who is not, who is here for you in a real way, in, you know, in ways that you need them to be. And our last pin is I'm your puppet. So this makes me feel that you do have some good people around you. You do have friends that'll go the extra mile for you. You know, since your reading is not romantic, I feel like this has to do with your friends, like being down for you, you know? So that is what you have for the charms. Let's see what you get for, let's move those over. let me pick up your cards so that we can do your letters. I'm gonna go ahead. I don't know if you can see those. I know they kind of wobble around, but I'll leave them here so you can take a look. All right. Now we ask for letters that could possibly help group one with their messages. All right, so immediately I saw a yes, even though there is no S, I do see yes. I see yep as well. Yep, maybe yep. I see best friend. I see we. And I also see wow, if we did it like that. So I feel like, yep, you do have people around you that love you and that you can lean on when you are feeling overburdened. I feel like BF, best friend, might be coming in. Whoa. And yeah, you can arrange these as is. Maybe there's initials of someone that you know. Maybe your initials are in here. That's what we got for you with that. And now let's do our yes or no question. Let me move these over. If you want to take a moment to think of a yes or no question, we'll get this pendulum swinging. We also have our channeled message. You got maybe. Let's do another one. There we go. I know you guys don't like maybe. That's what I heard the other day. The suspense. All right. You saw it. It went to definitely. So the answer went from maybe to definitely. Make of it as you will. Okay, so here is your channeled message. And I was like low-key kind of tripping out when I was doing your reading because I just wrote these messages, you know, a good like 20 minutes ago while I was meditating. And this is what you got. So this pile was about friendship. That is what came up in my meditation as well. Your song is friends. The lyric that came to mind is how many of us have them, ones we can depend on. It is a very old song, and I actually forgot to look it up, but I will link it. You know what? I'm going to link the YouTube video to the song so that you guys can listen to it. Maybe there's some lyrics there that might help you out in this situation. So what I saw for you was a weaving, a circle of friends. And the reason I almost said a weaving is because I literally saw it like a basket. I saw it like a tight woven basket that was being woven. And I felt like there was like manifesting of people, like the new people you want to call into your life. Like maybe you're feeling like your friendships that you've had for years, you know, aren't growing in the ways that you are. And maybe you're ready to expand and maybe, you know, like I said, call in new friendships of people that are going to help you grow into this next level of whatever it is you're doing. So I wrote down manifesting the types of relationships that we want. Our circle affects our vibration, so choose accordingly. So basically, the people that you keep around you, like that's the vibration you're going to be operating at. Sure, you can work on ascending and working and operating at a higher level, but when you are constantly surrounded around negativity or people that are just kind of questioning or there's like, I want to say restraining, but it's like restricting growth, or just challenging it. It's like, I'm not saying that we want people that just agree with us around us. It's like, no, it's not about that. It's actually about people who are loving and open and want to see us grow, and not just the ways that they feel comfortable watching us grow. I wrote, be true to yourself, new hobbies and interests. So basically, the more true you are to yourself, and the more dedicated and involved you are to new projects, new ideas, new things you want to learn, this will lead you to new friendships, and it'll lead you to a new circle of people who will accept you as you are and help you grow in ways that you are going to be naturally like heading in, if that makes sense. I wrote down, let go of the past, let go of hurts. So any past hurts that you have around friendships or love, like those are all wounds that are being triggered because they need to be healed. In order for us to find healthy love that will be long lasting and will be good for us, we need to also be in a good place to accept it, so that we know what we are accepting. I wrote down, this will set you up to accept the love you deserve. Inner healing needs to happen. So that's exactly what I was just talking about. And I wrote, love comes in many forms, but it all begins with self-love. And I wrote down boundaries. So I feel like when you start to ascend to a higher vibration, you're going to notice that you're going to be setting new boundaries for yourself and the people around you. I wrote down, give and take is a balance. So I do feel like maybe in past friendships and relationships, the give and take has been imbalanced, where you have maybe been giving too much and haven't been receiving in the same ways. And I wrote, the last thing I wrote down is, I am the creator of love. And this came to me with a feeling of the love already lives within you. And you are the creator of it. You can manifest more of it. I do believe there's just some inner healing that needs to happen, which I think you're on your way. And I think you're going to find that the more you heal and the more in your truth that you are living, you will be attracting the right kind of people into your life. So I hope you enjoyed this reading, Pile 1. I hope to see you in the next one. Hello, friends. If you picked the pile with this adorable little Selenite Tower, then this is your reading. So today we are going to have a little bit of tarot, some charms, some letters, so we can put together words or initials, and then a yes or no question at the end with the pendulum, as well as a message that I wrote down before your reading. So this is always fun to see if it'll tie into your tarot. So Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides, what does pile, or pile number 2, right? Oh my gosh, you guys, it's not the cards, it's me, I swear. Maybe, perhaps. Yeah, this is not the first time I filmed this pile. The first time the camera went off, so we had to redo it, which is fine. That just means that the messages, I'm almost positive that it's going to be like a continuation of what was already recorded. So we'll see what comes up for you. Then we'll see if it matches the channeled message that I wrote down. So today we are doing a general love reading. This is a collective reading, so if it resonates, great. If it does not, then leave it for someone else. We are going to be checking into what you currently need to know about love in your life, whether that's romantic love, friendship, how you view love, maybe areas that you need to heal in, to remove blockages when it comes to love. We'll see what comes up for you, pile number 2. We'll pull that one. Beautiful. Okay, let's see. Bottom of the deck is 2 of Cups. And okay. Okay, let me take a moment to look over your reading. So, off the bat, I see that either something out of like, not out of the blue, but something jarring could have happened. Maybe something that seemed like a disaster, you could be recovering from that, or it was avoided. Either way though, this could have been a circumstance or something that changed the circumstances, something that changed your everyday life could have happened. So we will get to that in a moment. Okay, so since this is a love reading, we are basing it off of love. So with the Hangman, I see that you maybe found yourself in a situation that wasn't moving forward. Maybe things just felt like they were in suspension, like you were just waiting for something to happen. Like you knew something was coming, but you're just kind of waiting around for it. And maybe it caused anxiety, but you learned how to release it. So you like moved past those feelings of possibly like sleeplessness or anxiety, like just discomfort, right? It does show you coming out of a period where you had to, there was sadness, there's like sadness and grief involving leaving something behind, or this is like the card of like crying over spilt milk. It's basically you have 5 cups. This is the 5 of Cups, and 3 are spilled, but you still have 2 that are upright. So it's basically like the message of not all is lost. Like, yes, you may have lost something that caused sadness and caused grief, but you still have a lot with you, and you haven't lost everything. But I do recognize that these are feelings of sadness and grief, and it feels like there's a divine masculine energy coming through that is not in a good place. This could be someone that was controlling, or their passions just kind of took over. Take that for what it is or how it resonates. Perhaps they would get angry quickly, or they would just like pop off, or maybe they were trying to be controlling in weird ways. This is a very strong person, a very, like I said, it's the energy of divine masculine. So it's, if in an upright position, an emperor that's operating at a high vibration would be someone who is a leader in a very masculine way, meaning they take up space and they're like, here I am, this is what I want, this is what I'm gonna get, it is mine. And they have power, they are powerful. But the line between a high vibrational emperor and someone operating at low vibrational emperor is not like too far off, because sometimes when people have power and they're operating in this power stance, it's very easy to tip over, if that makes sense. So this person seems like they are tipped over. They are operating at a level that's not fun to deal with. So with the Tower reversed here, this is telling me that, like I mentioned earlier, you're either recovering from a I don't want to say catastrophic, but it's definitely like a jarring event, something that changed, tipped the scales. And it could have been something that you saw coming, because oftentimes when we know something isn't working and we choose not to do anything about it, we get pushed out the window by life. Like, things end up changing anyway. So it could have been that, and this is showing recovery after that, a period of, you know, it could have been distress, or it could have been, you know, not fun. Like your basic fundamentals of your daily life could have been changed by this event. But it does show you coming out stronger. The King of Swords is very like strong in the mind, very determined in the mental realm, and it's not an emotional card. It's making decisions based off of like realistic, like reality, like very, very practical, and very much like mastery of the mental realm. So if this is not an event that happened, then this was an event that was avoided because you smartened up, or you gained clarity and perspective over something that needed to change. So take it as it resonates. And we also have the energy of, so we have options going on here relating to passionate beginnings. So maybe these are things that you worked for, that you kind of already like planted the seed a while ago, and now they're coming in. It's like you are watching your ships come in. Maybe it's work that you put in at some point, and now it's manifesting into a reality, and you see it coming in. It did come up with the Sun card, so I do feel that whatever happened here in your relationship with this person, or with this situation that affected love in your life, there is happiness, there is a blessing like being like shined down upon you, if you will. Like the Sun card, anytime it comes up in any reading, it shines light on any shadows. So it's a great card, and this means there's joy, there's happiness, there's warmth, there's sunlight. So it's good. Like whatever's coming in is going to lead you to be in a very sunshine type of state. So I do see that the situation with this, let's say with this person that you went through this with, there's like a lot of passion. So the Ace of Wands, it's like big D energy, and that coming up with the Emperor, that kind of shows me like maybe there was a strong like sexual pull, or maybe that was a very like strong bond between you two. And maybe, you know, maybe that is something that is off balance with the Emperor showing up reversed. So as the back of the deck energy, you had the Two of Cups. So this is a chance at like a renewal with the situation. So it does show that there's a chance of like opening your heart, and like both partners like filling each other's with love. So a new chance at that. Possibly that is what you see coming in because you put in the work. So that is what's showing up with your tarot. Let me pull the cards over, and then we will do some charms and some letters. I like the Two of Cups, so I'll leave that showing. Excuse me. We'll do some charms, some letters, and then your pendulum reading and your channeled reading. So let's see, these are the letters. Let's do so the charms are actually pins from my online shop that I've been using for readings, and it's actually been pretty fun. Let's see, Spirit, can we get some messages from these charms? Okay, so let's see here. So first we have the Selena pin. So I feel like immediately when I saw this come up in your reading, I thought of dreaming of you. So I feel like maybe this is something that you've been manifesting for a while and like working towards, like possibly like thinking about. We got nasty. So like I said, I feel like there's a strong sexual pull in this connection. Whether or not you guys have already hooked up, that's, you know, I feel like that's kind of like past the point. Like I feel like the passion is there regardless. We have the Sacred Heart, so I feel like it's more validation that there's a lot of fire in this connection and a lot of passion. There were wands showing up in your reading, so maybe fire sign coming through or something that happened in fire season in the summer. We have this, I don't want to say the word, so it doesn't pick up, but we have this from Romeo and Juliet. So as we know, that story is so full of fire and passion and like this burning love. So that's what this reminds me of. I also feel like because of what this is, it could show the passion going in both directions, volatile, if you will. Like we were talking about the Emperor in reverse. So it's like things could be hurtful even though they are passionate. So the melted Mickey head, this to me, I feel like this could be either childhood connection, whether you guys have known each other for a long time, or maybe when you met, it felt like there was something familiar about each other. That's immediately what I think of. I think it's because of the feeling of nostalgia. With the melted added to the Mickey, I feel like maybe at times you could have felt intoxicated by this connection. Parts of it perhaps, but again, I keep feeling like passion. Yeah, and maybe you could find yourself like randomly like thinking about this person, or it just makes me feel of like when you're under like the influence of, you know, and you just kind of get in your feels, but like in a nostalgic way, if that makes sense. Like if you guys had a good time getting wasted at Disney one time or something. And then we have our Thanks I Bought It at Versace pin. So this to me, this is from Showgirls, if you guys don't know, but this to me, when it comes up, I feel like someone isn't like being truthful of their feelings, like maybe wearing a mask and not really expressing how they feel. Maybe they're even confused over how they feel, but I feel like this brings the air of like not being fully truthful with your emotions. And then you guys got our La Mami pin. So you guys could be moms or nurturers of some sort. It doesn't have to be to human children. But I also feel like even if you're not, like this, I feel like it comes up as a reminder that we need to nurture ourselves first. So no matter what's going on in other relationships or connections, you know, baby yourself, like nurture yourself as well. Take care of yourself. So those are the pins you got. Let's check for letters. Spirit, can we get some letters? Maybe we'll see some initials or some words that could be helpful. We have WKB, 2 B's, so maybe your person has the same letter in their first and their last name. Have ZX, maybe this is an X. Someone you've been on and off with, or someone that you have a past with. Maybe it didn't take off, but there is a lot of emotion. I see hug. Maybe you just want to hold this person. X again. Maybe, oh, no, I thought there was another X. I was going to say that triple X, because I told you there seems to be a lot of passion in this. Q for Queen, GWPN. Z, B, H, K, 2 Ks, and an L. Hell, hello. All right, there are your letters. So let's get your pendulum. You guys can think of a yes or no question. We'll see what the pendulum has to say. And I'll get your channeled message ready. Oh, the suspense. Maybe. I know you guys don't like maybes, so I'll give it another try. Let me open your message. All right, I don't know, guys. It wanted to say maybe again, but it's saying definitely. So take that for what you want. Okay, so here is the messages that came through during your when I was meditating on your crystal. So I got 2 songs for you, which is Mi Cuarto by Jerry D and Joro by Wizkid, and both songs are about wanting someone so bad. So there's like longing and passion and like just not being able to get enough, and it's like a very physical attraction. The message that I got for you was you set me on fire. So again, I do think that there is a strong pull towards each other regardless of what it is that was going on. I do feel like a sense of intimacy, like kissing was coming through, and the message of I don't want to put a label on things. And that kind of felt like you guys coming up with your own rules as to what works for you. And if it doesn't fit into the norms of whatever norms are, like there is no norms. Like you don't have to put a label on anything. You can come up with whatever works for you, is what was coming through. So if there's been like pressure about like, you know, anything, if as long as it's working for you, then that's all that matters. I also got I would crash and burn for you. So I do feel like you guys are really down for each other, and perhaps there's been situations where that has been shown, like your loyalty for each other has been shown. I also wrote down I catch myself thinking of you. So I did feel that during your meditation that possibly you guys are both thinking of each other if there's any kind of separation in the connection right now. I wrote down accept it for what it is, protect yourself, follow what feels right for you. So again, as long as you're doing what feels right for you, then that is the best thing you can do. Accept things for what they are, as long as they are working for you and they are healthy, and within your boundaries, then that's all that matters. And the last thing I wrote is, do I know you from somewhere? So I do feel like there could be like a childhood connection or a past life connection, or maybe when you met this person, they felt very familiar. They reminded you of someone in your family or something you grew up with, or I felt like there was some kind of connection relating to the past in that way. So anyway, group 2, that is what I got for you. I hope you enjoyed your reading, and I hope to see you at the next one. Hello, everyone. If you picked pile 3, this labradorite tower, I'm laughing because I was like literally saying it over and over. Then this is your reading. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm like picking ash off of all the Palo Santo I've been burning around here in the incense. At this point, I'm a few readings in. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun doing these for you today. I will be uploading them throughout the week. So today's reading is a love reading. and we are going to be looking at what's currently going on in love in your life. What do you need to know? Keep in mind, this may not be romantic love. This could be platonic love, self-love, blockages that are perhaps keeping you away from, you know, having new love in your life. So we will see what comes up and what you need to know. I did pre-write a message that I felt coming through in the meditation that I had earlier. So we will read that later. And we also have some letters that we can come up with, some initials. Maybe we'll see some words that come up with the letters, and some charms that could help put a story together for us. And then at the end, you will also have the opportunity to ask a yes or no question. We'll have the pendulum going. So let's get started. Angels, ancestors, spirits, and guides. What does pile 3 need to know about their love life? What do they currently need to know? And immediately, as soon as I say that, the death card comes out. So we're going to go ahead and take the death card. We're going to put it upright for now. So don't be afraid. The death card is actually not that bad. It gets a bad rap just because of the name. But it's never here to lead us in the wrong direction. Tarot is never here to lead us in the wrong direction. It's just here to help us gain perspective of maybe a bigger picture, maybe help us figure out our emotions and how we're feeling. You know, it's like a form of therapy. It's not really meant to give you, like, tell you what the future holds. It's just kind of telling you where your energy is at, and if it continues to go in that way, what may happen, what the probability of something happening is. That's what tarot is. It's also a beautiful way for our guides and our higher selves to help us live our best lives on this earth, because Lord knows we need it. We need all the help we can get. So I see the death card and the world card, which is amazing. I feel like big things are happening for you guys. You're on the edge of glory, baby. Is what came through. Lady Gaga, edge of glory. But like in a really dope way. Oh, this one wants to come out. All right. Looks like you do have some decisions to make, which is awesome. All right. Let's put these here for now. Okay. With you guys, it feels right to move them around to make this story. All right. Let's leave those like that. All right, just one spirit. Which one do you want me to take? Take that one. Okay. Let's see. Party people, where are we at? That guy keeps coming out. A divine masculine who's lost his way. Imagine that. And a divine feminine who's holding her own. Imagine that. Okay, everyone, here we go. So you have a lot of strong energies coming through. So it looks like you are in a time of like, maybe things aren't progressing right now because you need to make a big decision about something, and this is all on you. It's like it's a very isolated thing you have to do, meaning that no one can really like, no one else's opinion matters. Like, you probably have learned that if you go ask someone for their opinion on your situation, and when they start talking, you might be like, you know what, I don't really care. Like, nah, I don't need your opinion. Because you start to realize that it doesn't matter what anyone else says, because I feel like you already know what feels right. And if you are feeling conflicted, maybe the reason you are feeling conflicted isn't because you don't know what it is you have to do. It's because of outside influences, like what so-and-so might say, or how people might perceive you, or how someone might feel about it. That's what I have coming through. And right now, like I said, you got the Hanged Man, and this is showing that there isn't much movement happening. And this isn't a bad thing. You're not meant to be moving forward right now. You're meant to be staying in place and getting a bigger perspective of the bigger picture, getting a wider perspective of the bigger picture. So I do see the energy of a partnership coming through. This is new partnership. It could be new love. It could be a new opportunity that makes you feel good in your heart space. Because this is a love reading, we're going to go ahead and assume that this is a new opportunity at love. And this is a masculine coming through, a masculine energy, whether or not they identify as a male. It doesn't really matter. We're just talking about energies here, and the energy is young and masculine, and they're offering you like something new. Like, it's young and it's exciting, and it's like, you know, there's like passion behind it. It's like something fun. They're coming forward with that. In order to, I feel like, even accept this or be open to this, and this is where your decision lies, is you need to let something go. You need to let something die, for lack of better words. And this is we're not talking about a person. Like, yeah, of course you don't want you don't wish death on anyone. That's not what this is about. This is more about the natural cycles of life, and when we know that it is time to move on and it is time to let something go because it is no longer serving us. You can deny this and you can continue to hang on, but there will not be growth. And inside you will always know what it is you have to do. Like, there is no reviving something after it has died. It's time, excuse me, it's time to move on, and it's time to let it go gracefully. I do see that perhaps codependency is keeping you from being able to let this chapter die. Codependency meaning, you know, like, it could be codependency in a relationship. Sometimes we don't realize, like, you know, how a situation has basically what we've turned into in the situation, without putting blame on anyone else, and just like taking accountability. When the devil shows up underneath death, especially, this is showing that you are holding yourself back. There is something inside of you that is keeping you chained to this situation. It could be obsessiveness. It could be, like I said, codependency, or any vices that we lean on to cope with life. That could be people, places, things. It doesn't necessarily have to be you know, other self-destructive behavior like drugs or alcohol or anything like that, but it could be. like I said, this coming up underneath death to me is it's a loud message of you're keeping yourself from basically closing out these chapters that are no longer for you. So I do see that perhaps like at one point in time, whatever it is that's no longer working for you, or maybe what you need to reevaluate in your life, maybe it is working, but not in the way that it's currently going. Like maybe you need to reconfigure some things to make it work. This is like a card of you at one point manifested all these things. Like there's a lot going on in your garden, but nothing can really flourish because it's like just becoming like overgrown, and you need to cut some stuff back. So it's like reevaluating, what do you want? Yes, maybe at one point you wanted all these different plants that you planted seeds of, but now that they're actually growing, it's okay to cut back, clean up, and decide where your focus, energy, and priorities are going to go into. With the Emperor reverse, this is a very, very masculine energy showing up in low vibrational form. This could be someone who is controlling or making irrational decisions, or doesn't want to see anyone else's opinion, or just kind of very like me, the way I say, I choose, I decide, I'm making the decision, like very just masculine, like toxic masculinity in a card is basically coming through right here. And maybe the person that you're dealing with, maybe at one point they were what you wanted, and now that it's here, it's just not working out for you. So I do, you got the Queen of Pentacles as the back of the deck energy, and you got the World card. So the Queen of Pentacles tells me that you can take care of yourself. You're nurturing, you're kind, your job, money, finances, home, like all of that, you can take care of on your own. Like you may not want to, but you definitely can. There's a very much sense of independence here, and someone who can definitely thrive on their own if it came down to it. And basically, like, she doesn't need to be bothered with any of this low vibrational stuff is what's coming up here. So she's more of a divine feminine energy. So we do have balances here of masculine and feminine energies. So with the World card, this is telling me that a huge chapter in your life is done. It's coming to a close. You are ready to start something new. So this could have been a long cycle. This could be a long-term relationship. This could be the way your long-term relationship has been going up until this point, and there's a big change, whether or not you guys choose to elevate your relationship. Say you've been dating for years, and now the opportunity, and you never like moved in together, or you know, marriage never came up, and now all of a sudden it is, or all of a sudden you're moving, or it's like, it could be a big chapter like that. It could be a chapter of you letting something go and choosing something new, because like I said, I do see the opportunity for a new passionate beginning with someone here, something or someone, but whatever it is, it's gonna feel nice. But whatever these things are that you have to let go, until you do that, you won't find out what else is on the other side. I do see big changes coming for you, and I do think there's a lot more waiting on the other side. So let's pick up your cards and get your letters and your charms going. Let's leave the World card on top. She's nice to look at. Okay, so first let's do your pins. Well, it's what I'm calling charms, but they're actually pins from my online shop. Oh, this one fell out, and I've been using them. They're pins from my shop and pins that I've collected. And I've been using them to tell stories. So let's see. All right. I love this already. All right. So the first charm that you got is realize, realize, realize. It's one of my favorite Tupac quotes. And this is my pin about discernment, about you being able to see through things and to see the reality and the truth in situations. So it's about you having discernment in the situation and realizing that maybe letting things go isn't the end of anything. You know, listen to your intuition here. So we got the Prince pin. I mean, this, I don't even know what to say about the Prince pin. It is Prince. I mean, maybe your connection has a music connection, or you are a fan of Prince. Maybe there's a memory here that involves music or Prince. Yeah. You got the nasty pin. So this is like signifying of passion. So there's definitely passion that was coming through in your reading, especially passion, speaking of like a new beginning, a new opportunity at something passionate, something that's going to feel good. You have La Mami pin. So this pin, even the Queen of Pentacles could be a mother or a parent figure, but even if you are not, when this pin comes up, it's a reminder to nurture ourselves, to baby ourselves. You know, give yourself some self-love, basically. We're so good at nurturing other people sometimes, and sometimes we forget. And then we have our Chamango pin, which is a snack-loving pin. So maybe your connection, like maybe you guys enjoyed snacks together. Maybe this pin will spark a memory for you guys. But I do feel like maybe you guys shared like a love of similar things, like similar snacks or foods, or you enjoy like doing stuff like that together. I mean, what couple doesn't, right? All right, and then this teeny tiny little pin I did not realize was in here, but this is a 323 pin, which is an area code pin. So maybe you and this person grew up in the same area. Maybe there's a connection with where you grew up, or just kind of going in a different way with the numerology. Maybe the numbers 323 mean something, or if we add them together, it's 8. Take it as it resonates. So let's do your letters. All right. Are there any further messages here for group 3? All right, we got a few. The first thing I see is FU. Oh my God, that's so funny. We'll leave that there for now, okay? X, maybe this person, maybe there's an X you need to let go of. Be right back. BRB, Q for Queen. CV. Another X. Is there 3 X's? No, just 2. There's an M. U. There's 2 U's, 2 C's. So maybe this person has double letters in their first or their last name. There's an L. G. Gullible. Maybe you were gullible when you met this person. Let's see, F, M, R, MFer, C, and F. So here you go. Maybe gold. Of course I saw that. Oh, this is getting dirty. All right, come on now. We'll leave it at come on now. All right, guys, so those are your letters. And now let me bring the pendulum. So you can think of a yes or no question, and we'll see what this has to say. And I'll get your message ready. I don't remember what I wrote in this. It was already a few hours ago. And by the time I get to these readings, you know, when I channel, it's so weird. Like, even during my readings, I don't remember what I say after. All right, so the pendulum says no way. Your answer for that is no way. Take it as it resonates and for what it is. All right, so let's see your channeled message. You got Shaka Khan, Ain't Nobody. I almost forgot. That's the song that came through for you. And the lyric that popped out is happen naturally. I didn't know it was love. So you guys, I feel like when this new opportunity comes up and maybe this like younger energy, younger person, I feel like they might be younger than you slightly, or they might feel younger, or they just might feel fresh. Like it's going to feel new. I feel like, oh, look, I just bold. Like maybe this energy is going to be bold for you. Whatever it is, it seems like they're going to be hot for you because there was a lot of passion coming through. Oh my God, as I'm like, I swear I'm not even trying. The words are just coming through. So that's the song that I got for you. I also got, I wrote down deep understanding and connection. I feel like you're not gonna, I feel like there's going to be an understanding of, like, it's just going to feel different, and you're going to have like an understanding of it when you encounter it. I wrote down dreams. How do you feel? So basically take note of your dreams, even if you don't remember dreaming. If in the morning you wake up feeling really like in a good mood, or like, you know, just like in a like good like vibe, take note of that, because usually that's when we have like energies come and visit us in our sleep. So I also wrote down, loving people doesn't look the same. You are allowed to express your love in different and new ways. So I really feel like this new energy that's going to come for you, I said come for you, come at you, I don't know. I mean, pop into your life. This new energy is not going to be like what you are used to, meaning they're just going to feel different. And you don't have to, like, you might want to compare to what you're used to, but you don't have to, because I feel like you're going to quickly realize that this is just different. And the way that you are used to loving before is going to be different than how you love this person. And that could be a great thing. You could learn a lot from this. Actually, it does seem like you are going to learn a lot from this if you are willing to, you know, embrace that death card and let go of that devil card. And the last thing I wrote is free yourself of mental constraints around the right and wrong ways to express and show love. Release shame. So I do feel like maybe there is some healing that needs to be done around if there's any shame surrounding how you show love or showing love in general. Sometimes it stems from childhood for a lot of us. And I wrote down free yourself of mental constraints, meaning like maybe old ideas of what you thought that loving someone should be like, or what a situation should be like or should look like. Maybe it's time to open up your ideas and realize that maybe there is no right and wrong. It's just what works for you and what doesn't. So pile 3, that is your reading. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that it resonated. Thank you guys. I'll see you at the next one.